Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to CodeVis. Alright, in our last video we talked about CSS animations, but in this video we are going to talk about the topic called CSS dropdowns. Before we start the video, please do not forget to like and subscribe to our channel so you can get notified whenever we post new videos or updates. Also, don't forget we also take on jobs as well, so if you have any projects you want us to help you out with, please feel free to contact us. We can take up web development, UI UX, software development, data analytics and more. Even video editing projects, we take them all on. Graphic design, we are there for you as well. Also, if you check the link below, if you check the description of the video, you will see our links to our social media sites. Please like and follow us on our various social media platforms. You can also join our community on WhatsApp so that we can keep you updated before we post any videos. You can also take part of our very fun weekend tech quiz, which we use to test out your tech skills that can keep you sharp. So without further ado, let's begin the video. So in our last video we did CSS animations, whereby we applied this changing color to our text as well as this moving ball here in this box. But like I said, in today's class what we are going to be doing is CSS drop downs. Now in the previous HTML video we did drop down, whereby you use the select tag then the option tag in order to get yourself a little menu. But in CSS we can create a separate drop down in CSS without having to use that select tag, and that is what we are going to do right now. So let's carry on. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to head to our HTML file here. I'm not going to delete any of this, I'm just going to leave it be. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to put a little comment and call this CSS drop down. Don't close my eye. Alright, so without further ado, let's carry on. So for us to do the CSS drop down, naturally we have to start with our HTML first. So let's create a section. We'll say dot, I'm going to call it dot drop down. Then I'm gonna do dot drop item. Now in this my class of drop down, I'm going to put an A tag there, or you can just put a normal paragraph tag. There's nothing there. Let's put a normal paragraph tag and put this text. Then in this drop item I'm going to put multiple tags. I'm going to put maybe a B tag. Yeah, B tag. I'll say first text. I'm going to copy this. Remember, copy and paste is highly allowed, so copy this. I don't even know how many times I put it, but we're going to manage it like that. So I'm going to put second text, third text, fourth. Sorry, there's no U in fourth. Oh, sorry, there's a U in fourth. Don't mind me. Alright, then we have the fifth text, and this will be our sixth text. So now that we have all these our text ready, let's go and begin to style it. So in HTML it's as simple as this. We've done the drop down, we've created a section, and if you notice inside this section of drop down we created a subsection called drop item. If you remember correctly, the div tag is used to create sections in HTML. So what I did was I created a section again, then created a section inside the section, which is something that's highly common in HTML and CSS. So with this we move on. Alright, now it will appear like this in our HTML code. This is how it appears. You can see there's no big deal here. There's nothing here that makes it look spectacular or special in any way. But that is where CSS comes in. So let's go style this up in our CSS. Okay, I'm going to go down. Let's put a comment first, and I'll say here CSS drop down. So make sure that we are on the same page. You don't have to continue this on the previous HTML file you have. You can easily just create a new file and do the CSS drop down so you can get it fresh. But I'm just doing it the way I want to do it. So I'm done here. So let's head down here. So for us to do the drop down, the first thing we have to do is style up the whole section. Naturally, we have to position it, we have to style it. You know this thing now. So let's start. We'll start by saying dot drop down. I'm going to give you the property of display block. Now we've touched this display property in our previous videos, and I said that these display properties affect how our elements appears. When you say display block, that means display the elements in vertical order which is how HTML elements naturally appear. They appear one line after the other because they appear in a vertical order. So by default, all of them have display block. Alright, we also did display inline block, whereby to make the elements appear side by side, we did display flex, we've done display grid. So if you want to know more about this display property, please look at our previous videos, you will see it there. So after this property of display block, I'm just going to give it a little, let's see, let me just give it padding. I'm going to give it padding of 24 pixels all around, and I'm going to say position should be relative. Again, we've also done CSS position. Please, if you don't know it, you can go back to our previous videos to check out. You can check out our previous videos and you will see where we touch the topic of CSS positions. So let's move on with the video. Alright, so now that we're done with this drop down, we're actually done with it. You don't need to do much. Look how the way it appears. There's no biggie there. We can position it, we can style it up if we want to do that, no problem. I can say, okay, let's position it a bit. I can say background color this time, hashtag C500. No, that's not it. Hashtag you know what, let's just use our company code, the color that we've used here before, which is, that's a lot of colors we use. Okay, I will take this green here. You can use any color of your choice for this, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to come here and paste this. Then I'm going to make it darker. Let's make the green a bit darker. Yes, there we go. Oh, I don't want the color code to be RGB, I want it to be in hex. We've done this already as well. Good. There's nothing wrong with the color code being in RGB. You can use any color code of your choice. It's just everyone has their preference, that's all. And I prefer my color code being in hex code format. What the hell's going on? My keyboard was not pressing all of a sudden. That was weird. Then now let's target this p tag here. So I'll come and give it one last thing, is I'll give it his text align center. So I'll come down and style up the p tag, that's the text. So I'll say dot drop down greater than p. That is target the p element inside the drop down. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to say font size should be 18 pixels. Font weight, we've done all these things in our previous videos, we've talked about them. Please consult our previous videos in order for you to understand what we're doing here if you're not following. Font weight bold, let's just use bold. And if I come back here, boom, we have this little box. Oh yeah, I didn't give my drop down the width and height, so let me give it that. Let's give it width and height. So I'll say width 240 pixels, height 120 pixels. Is that too much? Yeah, that's too much. Let's come here and make you 80. Okay, that works for me. Come here, say color, hashtag FFF, that's white. Make this 8062. Aha, yes. So now let's style up the second part. So we are done with the actual div tag itself. Then I don't know, maybe I'll change the position. I'll give it margin auto. Aha. Yeah, came to the center of the page. Exactly what I want. Then this drop down, let's give it margin top on top of the margin auto. So I'll say margin top 80 pixels. And that should give us, yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, let it have a little distance from this our animation. So we have this now, but we are not done with the drop down. All right, like I said, these are the drop items. Now when we did drop down the HTML, you will notice that what you first do is you create the select. When you put in the select tag, inside the select tag you will now put in the options tag, which we use to display the menu one by one. So we are going to do something similar in CSS here, using this text that we put in here. So what we are going to do is we are going to make this text disappear and only appear when we want it to, using CSS. So let's carry on. So with this we are going to carry on. We say drop down p. This is okay. Now the next thing we are going to do is we are going to target this our drop. We are going to target this drop item tag here, this drop item class here. That's what we're going to target next. So I'm going to come down and say dot drop item, and I'll do display block as well. Block, display block height. Sorry, the width and height should be the same. Width should be the same, 240 pixels, and height should be 32 pixels, not 62. We shorten it a lot. Height should be sorry, I said 32 pixels. No. 240, 180, 180 pixels. Let's start with that for now. I'm going to do a little padding. Say padding should be 4 pixels by 8 pixels. That one is okay. So after the display block, I'm going to give it position absolute. Now, if you remember our previous video on positions, you will know exactly what this absolute means. It means let this particular element stand on its own where it is, and let it stand on its own. It can, as in, nothing affects it. No other element will affect its space or its particular place in the web page. That's what it means. Relative means let the element adjust to what is around it. Absolute means let it stand on its own. There's also position fixed. Like I said, we've done a topic on CSS positions. You can go back to our previous video to consult, to check it out, and then so you can understand this thing better. So now with the drop item done, yeah, it has started getting itself. Then we'll do this. We'll see background color of the drop item should be white. Hashtag FFF. Now you can see that we have this thing here. Okay, but again, we're not done. Let's just carry on. You guys will see what we're trying to do. I'm going to copy this. We have B tag here, right? Yes. All right. So this should be okay for now. Copy this color code here. I'm going to reverse this. So I'm going to come down here and say dot drop item greater than B. That is the B tag inside our drop item class. So I'm going to give it font size. Font size should be the same, 18 pixels. Font weight, however, I'm going to remove the bold there and make it light or regular. Font weight, lighter, bold, normal. Okay, yeah, normal. Yeah, just make it normal. I'm moving the bold there. Then color, paste this color code there. And yes, we have this, but we are not done. We are now going to give this drop item display block, and you can see everything has come line by line. They've all appeared in vertical order, just like I said. The display block property makes elements appear in what vertical order. So now that appear in vertical order, the only thing we need to do is to style it up. That is to arrange them properly. So let's do that. So I'm going to say the property. I'm going to say padding in this box should be 12 pixels top and bottom by 18 pixels left and right. That should space them out wonderfully. Yes, I like that. Alright, let's go expand. Hold on. 240, drop item 240. Okay, then what else are we going to do here? Yes. Let us come back to this drop item and give it one more property called box shadow. Come back here. Sorry, come back to this drop down. This 24 pixels here. Make it 8 pixels. Yeah, that's better. Let's check this out now. The gap is not that much anymore. Good. The width was off. We'll make this guy here 248 pixels. Alright, 240 is okay. So we'll give this box shadow. I already know what box shadow does, right? We've talked about it in the previous video, and we've mentioned it in our other videos where we talked about it as a topic of its own. So here we're just going to put it in. We're going to say 2 pixels by 4 pixels by 18 pixels. 18 pixels. Then the color is going to be hashtag 000 for absolute black. But we're not done. Come back here, select a lighter color and reduce the opacity of it here with VS Code, and boom, we have this little shadow here. But our box height is not enough to contain all this text, so we have to increase the height of our box. So let's do that. Let's increase the height of our box. We're going to come here, this height from 180, we're going to make it 360. Let's see how it looks like. A bit too long. We have to reduce it a bit. Let's reduce it by 40 pixels. Let's say 320. Come back here. Slightly better. 320, make it 280. Much better. Much better. But you can see that it's slightly off. So we have to make this box come to the edge here. We want to close this gap that is here between the box. So let us say drop item margin left minus 8 pixels. Perfect. So we have our little box here, and margin top, oh sorry, pardon me, margin top, we're going to give it 40 pixels. Come back. Want it to be independent of this one totally. So this is how our box will look like. So this is our drop menu, this is our drop item here. You might not see it as much now, but we are going to do one last thing that's going to make it, that's going to give it the effect we want to give it. Let me use that language. We are going to do one last thing that's going to give it the effect we want to give it. So now we have this little box here. This is the item that I'll be showing. So we can do that when we click on this particular item. It can be when we click on, when we hover on top of it, it will now bring out this box. That means this lower box here won't show. That's the general idea. This lower box won't show until something triggers it to make it show. That is what we are going for. All right. So let us carry on. We are done with this, I believe. We can put more space in between this B tag if we want to put more space in between them. We can select the top and bottom. Instead of 12 pixels, let it be 16. To also add more space. That means we have to increase the height of this stuff again. I don't mind. 280 we turn back to 320. Come back here. Perfect. Margin top. Let me shift this thing a little more down. I want to see how far it can go. Margin top. The gap is too much. So let's come back here and make it 48. Aha, perfect. This text is not exactly in the center. I'm not happy with that, I won't lie. Let me go back here. I'll change this P tag here to a B tag. Pardon me. Let me change this P to B. Come back to this place. Change this P here to B. Alright. So we don't need this font weight bold anymore. We don't need it here anymore. Come back here. Alright, that didn't give me what I want. I want the text to be in the center of the box. That's drop item. Sorry, drop down. I gave drop down text align center, right? Okay, sorry, padding. Let's make the padding this 8 pixels. Forget it. Let's carry on. So with this, we have our little box and this item. So like I said, we are going to make this thing disappear now. And to do that, what we'll just do is we'll come back to this drop item here and change the display block property to display none. That is all. Change the display block to display none, and the little box below disappears. This is our text now. You can see it as clear as day. There is nothing below it, right? Okay, I'm going to do this instead. Come here to drop item P, B. Come down here, see padding top 12 pixels. Come back here. Nothing. Come here. Oh, I said padding top, sorry. Margin top. That should give it the effect I want. Now, it didn't do anything. Am I missing something? I'm definitely missing something. I'll ignore it for now. So, What we now have to do now is that we have to now trigger this box so that to bring out the drop item. We have to trigger this drop down so that to bring out its drop items. So for us to do that, what we are going to do is this. We'll say, now, despite what I said, we can't exactly target the drop item. That is, we can't hover on top of the drop item, or we can't trigger the drop item directly because it is no longer displaying in our web page. So we can no longer trigger the drop item directly. What we will do is simple. We are going to use this drop down section here to indirectly target the drop item. We are going to use this drop down to trigger our drop item. So what we are going to do is I'm going to come down here and say dot drop down hover. We'll give the pseudo class of hover. You guys know the hover pseudo class. That means once our cursor touches this, we've touched CSS pseudo classes. Please check out our previous videos so that you can follow up. So I'll say dot drop down hover space, not greater than, no, not this sign here. What this sign means is that affects the element inside the class. Okay, but when you put just a single space, that means affect both the parent element and the child element. So drop down hover dot drop item. So this is what we are going to do. So what this thing simply means is that when we hover on top drop down, let the effect also apply to what? Drop item. Then just give it to display block. That's all. So if we come back to our browser, if we click on it, you can see now the drop item appears immediately we hover on top this drop down. And that's how to do a drop box in CSS. Pretty simple. I'm sorry it took a little long because of the minor adjustments I made, but that is it. Alright, it is simple. All you have to do is you will first make this item show so you can design it. When you are done designing it, that is when you're done arranging how you want it to be, you just give it the display of none. Display of none means do not show this element, let it disappear completely from the screen. Now, because it is not displaying, we cannot directly trigger the element itself. That is the class of drop item. It's not displaying, we can't trigger it. So for us to make it appear, we have to come and target its parent element, being what? Drop down. I'm gonna give it, okay, drop down hover dot drop item, which means affect both the parent and the child elements together. Now I'll mention this again. When you use this greater than sign here to target any child element, what you are saying is target the child element directly, not the parent element. Okay, what I'm doing here now is targeting only this B tag here. It is not targeting this drop item tag. If it was targeting this drop item tag, then if I change this thing to none, it won't matter. It won't matter because this box will still show no matter what, because its child element has what? Display block. So that's the difference between this and this. Now you can see the clear difference here. So you can be like, it's not the same child selector. No, it's not a child, it's not the same thing. This one makes it so that you can target the child element directly, while this one affects both the parent and the child elements together. I hope you guys understand that. So by using this, so what we are now doing is we are indirectly using the drop down to target drop item and giving it display block. This display block property here cancels out this display none property here, thereby allowing us to have this our drop down menu. Now forget how the thing is showing in this page. I'm sure you guys are like, oh my god, this thing will show well and all that. Don't worry about it. You can apply this kind of thing to your nav bar, to the middle of your page, anywhere. It won't give you this kind of effect. Alright, the reason why it's doing like this is mainly because this one is what? Hover, relative probably. That's just all. And with this we are done. Okay, we are done with CSS drop downs. You can play around. We can even give this our drop downs here hover effect if we want to. That's like I can come down here and say dot drop item greater than B hover, and I'll say background color, give it this our little guy here, and color of the text should now turn to white. So that if we come here, can you see it now? So you can style up your drop down menu anyhow you want it to be. Alright, okay, so with this we are done with the video for today, the video course for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so you'll be notified whenever we post any new videos. At the same time, before we even post videos, we usually upload it to our respective social media platforms. Alright, so if you like and follow us on our respective social media platforms, you'll be notified about when we are posting a new video, so you can make our time to go learn what you want to learn immediately. Again, like and subscribe to our channel, follow us on our social media platforms. You can join our community channel so that you can take part in our quizzes, ask us questions directly, or even give us any project you want us to handle for you. Once again, this is Codebase. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.